Do you want to start by introducing each other?
Let's introduce each other.
Okay. I'm Annie, and
I'm Kate.
And we are running a small tech department out of Kate's apartment in Brooklyn Heights for this pod. We are sisters. We are 2.5 years apart. I am younger. We're both from Chicago originally, the suburbs of.
Yeah.
Kate moved to New York 6 years ago, and she was at NBC Page her first year here. Oh, she graduated from Northwestern. Go Cats. And then she moved to Soho. Then she moved to the Upper West Side. Then she met Mac, her fiance, in...
Fiance?
I mean... Oops. Boyfriend? No, totally.
Spoiler alert.
And yeah, so now she lives in... Oh, do you want to take over?
No, sorry. I was trying to get things back on track.
Max sitting in here. Okay, then they moved to Brooklyn Heights about a year ago. Okay, here are some better, more unique fun facts. She wrote our elementary school's jingle when she was a 5th grader, the Wilmot Elementary song.
I think it's called a...
Wilmot, a Mighty Fine School.
No, wait, what's that called? Not a jingle. It's like a
fight
song. Fight song for the 10-year-old.
Yeah, and it's still the song today. So she's kind of
actually, I've heard rumors that it's different.
No.
Really?
No, I'm positive. She's kind of a local.
God.
She's kind of a local celeb. And what else? She can name a song within like 0.0001 seconds of hearing the first note.
That's true.
We'll have to do that at some point. Maybe we just jump right in.
Well, why don't I give a little intro to you? Because
for me, of course.
Annie is my sweet younger sister. She moved to New York 3 years ago now, and she's in the West Village. Well, first of all, most importantly, graduated from the University of Wisconsin.
Go Badgers. I was about to be like,
I'm sorry.
My most important part of my identity.
One of Annie's most defining characteristics.
I would agree.
And she started her career in politics, Democratic politics, switched over to branding or brand consulting, trend consulting, has done very cool stuff in her career.
Thanks.
Some of Annie's fun facts. So Annie, wait, I wrote some down.
Since we're just getting to know each other, I know it's hard. You have to go to your notes.
Sorry. Oh my God. Okay. Also, when Annie was 10, Annie's a huge reality TV fan. When Annie was like 9 or 10. 9. I saw that correction coming. She made a Tumblr called peacelovekardashians.tumblr.com.
I just want to clarify that at the time that was a very cool name.
And she became Tumblr famous.
I did.
No one in my family knew about it. I think I knew about it.
Later, when I started to get into trouble, that I thought would maybe come back to bite me later on, when I would get in fights about Tumblr Tuesday. That's when I had to confide in you.
Annie had beef with other Tumblrs, and the pressure just became way too much.
It was all consuming. And I was like Hannah Montana. I was like a 4th grader during the day, and I was running a 50,000 follower plus Tumblr account. And
by night.
And the reason that I had to take a step back was because, as Tumblr people will remember, I just completely started a whole story without you finishing the introduction. But I was just going to say that true Tumblr people will remember that there's a reblog feature.
Of course.
Yeah. And the other Kardashian accounts just didn't respect that. And I would sit on, it wasn't Canva at the time. It was some graphic design thing. And I would spend hours.
Picnic?
Yes. I used Pic Collage.
Of course.
And it was super aesthetic. And Kardashians would call people out for Tumblr Tuesday. And Courtney messaged a girl who would literally command shift for my content. And I just started fighting with her in my inbox on time. It just became too much.
You're like, I'm learning my times tables. I
can't.
No time
right. I can barely do 9 times 9. I cannot fight with this woman in my Tumblr messages. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, and Annie, she's lactose intolerant. Yeah. She's always about 10 minutes late to everything.
Oh, okay. And she's sticking to the positives.
Oh. Okay, cut that.
Clip that.
Annie is So cute.
Yeah.
Honestly, fashionista from an early age.
Oh, thank you. So kind.
My dad used to take her to, our dad used to take her shoe shopping, and my dad would get in trouble because Annie would come home with like the least practical little pink Mary Janes when she was sent there to get sneakers, and my dad would be like, I'm sorry, like she just wouldn't let us leave without these like cute little statement pieces.
Yeah, that is 6 weeks later I already grew out of.
Right.
So, yeah.
So that's us. Do we want to talk a little about why we're even sitting here right now?
Sure.
Why we decided to do this?
I feel like you go first.
Okay.
Or kick us
Well,
off.
yeah. So I feel like Annie and I feel like we are very huge consumers of like lots of media and content and like YouTube and TikTok and podcasts. Anyway, I feel like as huge consumers of that kind of stuff, I feel like it's been a little disheartening as like things have played out politically over the last 10 years, but especially the last 6 months. And for me personally, like not knowing where people who I enjoy consuming their content like stand politically, or like finding out where they stand politically and not liking it is like just like makes it less fun for me as like someone consuming that content.
Like being very upfront and honest about like where we stand politically, and like talking about things that feel important. I also feel like the two things don't have to necessarily happen like in silos. Either you're talking about politics or you're talking about like reality TV or, you know, like silly content. Like there's a void of like girlies who love all that stuff and who are also willing to like be very open and upfront and honest about the fact that like we, you know, definitely like have things to say from like a social, political, you know, angle as well. I also just like think that we both love to talk.
We love to talk.
So that's also.
I'm also just like excited
to chat. If this is literally just ends up being for us, great. But I think it's important to like
take a risk.
All of that being said, I think that like our idea is sort of like to let the current cultural moments lead what we feel like we want to talk about, or like the dumb shit we watched throughout the week. Like we're just going to kind of let it.
Sometimes those are the important cultural moments.
Exactly. I kind of think that covers like at least why we're starting it. This is like more than anything like a fun hobby.
I also, and maybe this will kind of get us into our chats, but I just think as people navigating, trigger warning, but we're both pretty far out from being college students now. The look of terror in your eyes. I think it can be really easy like in your 20s to like not do things just because they're fun or just because it's like creative or a passion project or like whatever. And
oh, this was something that I did want to bring up that's in my notes. I know there's a big joke about how podcast equipment needs to be more expensive, which is arguably very funny. It's not that inexpensive.
I agree.
I mean, okay, I'm like, we also like are not like rolling in cash. I'm not like, I'm sure for people with a large amount of disposable income, it feels not that expensive. But like, this was not like, oh, I'm going to spend $10 and start a podcast.
Oh,
we're running running a small tech firm over here.
Oh, 100%. And can I also say when I went to pick up our like special little audio interface today, which I had never heard of until last week, I was embarrassed picking it up because I was like, I'm like a little bitch in my
shop spicy damn necklace.
My linen pants and my beaded necklace.
Totally.
Going to pick up my podcasting equipment. Like, how many of me do you think walk in to there every day with a dream and a microphone?
I don't
listening
know.
to Taylor Swift in my AirPods.
Exactly.
I was.
Oh, that's something else I'd like to speak on.
Should we start there?
I feel like maybe. Okay, so, sorry, let's level set quickly before we just start. Taylor Swift, hugely important to us.
Oh.
But...
And I want to be very transparent
Thank you. I knew this was where you were going. Let's be transparent.
We used to be haters.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I don't want any skeletons coming out of our closet.
Wait, share the the original name of the playlist.
I initially
2020.
2020, I made Annie a playlist of Taylor Swift songs because I was slowly getting into it. I couldn't deny.
We were excited about Folklore.
Loved Folklore.
We were really excited.
This was pre-Folklore. Actually, it was 2019, I think. It was before the pandemic.
Oh, you're right.
It was Lover.
Yeah.
Cruel Summer.
Yeah.
Undeniable energy. The playlist was called I'm Still Team Kim, which I'm not anymore. And the name is now I'm Not Still Team Kim, but that was our Taylor Swift shared Spotify playlist.
I think we should figure out what day you officially changed it.
It was more recent than I'd like to admit.
Reputation.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a tweet that was like, don't you think that when she was re-recording Reputation, she kept hitting a wall re-recording it, and it didn't feel right because she realized that the Reputation era haters of hers don't deserve the re-record.
Do you think?
Like, don't deserve to get this special album in present day, and they're just going to have to eternally deal with the fact that they were, operating from a place of misogyny.
And when you say they, you mean
us. Exactly. No, so true. I kind of want the lifetime supporters of Taylor's to have, like, they can have that.
And they should have that.
They should.
I have a question.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of rhetoric online about people being so excited that they can listen to the original versions again.
Last Kiss with the Shaky Breath.
The original Better Than Revenge lyrics.
I don't miss that lyric. I'll say it.
For some reason, I started to feel bad for Taylor. I'm like
that she re-recorded that.
No, I more so was like, oh, I feel like if I was her, I'd be like, oh my God, like everyone secretly hated these the whole time. Which maybe we did.
I don't think we did. Did you?
No, I mean, I've only listened to the Taylor's version.
To me, the vault tracks so outweigh any changes from the original songs that I would do the re-records a million times over again.
What do you think you're going to listen to moving forward?
I ran a half marathon a couple months ago, and there's a lot of Taylor on that playlist. And I had gone and deleted the non-Taylor's version ones and then added them back. Except the problem is that you can't queue a playlist on shuffle.
And you don't want all the Taylor at the end.
I'm not waiting 12 miles in for Taylor. Thank you. So I would have to go back, swap out, and then shuffle the songs around. It's quite a project.
I think I've honestly gotten used to the new versions, although I just haven't listened to the old versions in a long time. So I don't know. I could see myself sort of...
Oh my God, I can see
dabbling.
Yeah. Did she say she's going to debut, that she's going to re-record Debut?
She has re-recorded Debut.
Oh.
Debu's done.
When is she releasing that?
She said she would if people still wanted her to. And it sounds like she's never going to re-record Rep.
Right.
So I don't know.
Which I kind of love for the OG Swifties.
Same. Also, all those Joe songs.
Right. I think for a lot of reasons, this is the decision she made for herself. I'm also so happy for her.
I know. God, I love her.
I love her so much. Okay. Oh, I was going to ask you this.
Yeah.
So, yesterday, I ran into Tinks.
Yes, I've heard.
Which was so fun and exciting for me. I went to go DM her that I was so grateful that she was so nice to me and it was such a lovely chat. And I showed Logan, I screenshotted and sent this to you, but I showed Logan, I was like, she's not going to see this because it says invite to chat. Except that when I showed her, she was like, what is that? And I was like, oh, if you've swiped up on people's stories or DM them and they're a public account and they're very famous, you can only send so many.
Yeah.
I realized that I speak into a void to a lot of my favorite girly pops.
Oh, same.
Okay.
But I don't... I know I just made you feel better. I think it's a way that we're both weird.
Very weird. Okay. Because I said something about it to Logan and to Rachel, and they were like, I don't think I've ever DM'd, and then I was like, how many people is it? I'm scrolling. Paige DeSorbo, Hannah Berner, multiple. And I thought about it on Real Housewives when they're like, she was a fan before the show. She came on the show and she had gone to our book signings and da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay. Yeah, I'm a fan. Is that something I'm supposed to be ashamed of? Not that I'm on the Real Housewives. I'm just saying that if I were ever in a space like that and someone accused me of being a fan,
yeah,
I'm absolutely a fan. Probably the most.
Same.
That's all.
I remember when I was younger, and I promise this is going to relate.
Okay, of course.
But this is another important thing about me, I would say, is that I have been known to be a fangirl. And when I was younger, it was Harry Potter and it was One Direction.
I thought you were going to breeze past the Harry Potter part. And I was going to be like, the OG was
no,
Harry Potter.
If I'm talking about one, it's Harry Potter.
Of course.
But I remember, like, being so convinced that I was, like, meant to end up with Daniel Radcliffe. Sorry, Mac. Or Harry Styles, Niall Horan, depending on the day. I remember I had some friends who really, like, would try. Like, we would be at the concert and we would have an opportunity to, like stalk them at their trailers.
Yeah, when my dress came above my head.
Yeah. And, R.I.P. Annie got so excited to see Liam that she jumped up so high that her entire dress got caught to her head and she was flashing the entire...
Like, I felt the bottom of the back of my dress in my hair clip, and I was literally, like, 12, 14? How old was I?
12, 13.
And but every girl there, here's what I've never really thought about. Every girl there was so focused on those men coming out of the trailer that I guarantee no one even saw my bare ass.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I didn't see it. I've just heard.
Yeah.
I've heard.
There was a breeze.
Anyway, I had some friends who were like, well, we can't seem too into them because if they meet us one day, like, we can't, like...
Oh, they were worried about, like, their for real chance with that.
Right.
That's so fun.
They were like, if we, like, act too crazy, too into them, like, when we meet Harry...
And that would be the deal.
Or when we meet Daniel Radcliffe.
Right, of course. And
they
that would
can't know. And I remember thinking, like, okay, I'm sorry, this is who I am.
Right. I'm your
like,
fan. That's never going to change.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, I am a fan. Also, what? We're going to be married with kids, and I'm not going to tell you that I was stalking you outside of Crystal Palace in Birmingham, Michigan?
Right. It just
would
never...
What it's called? No,
yeah.
The Palace. Crystal Palace is a football team. Sorry, soccer team.
You also have, like... We both have, like, T-shirts. And, like, that'd be, like, a really hard thing to hide.
Yeah.
I'm also dying laughing that at, like, 14, 15 years old, we were all worried that, like, that would be the thing that would keep us from them.
My favorite posts are when people are talking about, like...
Thank
like
God I
it's a
shaved
picture-
my for the One Direction concert when I was 9.
It's like a picture of them as, like, an 11-year-old, and it's, like, me after shaving head to toe before the Glee concert.
But that was my original everything shower.
The One Direction concert? Of course. You were like, I've got to be...
And you definitely did it for how to succeed in business without really trying.
Of course I did. Are you kidding? You thought I was going to show up to that stage door and meet Daniel Radcliffe with a single hair?
Can you please?
No.
What?
What are you going to say?
The M&M story?
Oh, yeah.
What did you think? I'm embarrassing myself.
When I was 14 and Annie was 11, we went to New York City, and my dad wanted to go to the U.S. Open, and
Kate at this point had, like, big New York City dream. Like, was in theater, like, always wanted to move to New York. I, like, was just happy to be there.
Annie just wanted, like, an iced cold Arnold Palmer
and a
good vibe.
Exactly.
And I wanted to, like, hit the streets of Times Square.
We stayed, like, at the DoubleTree, like, in the middle of... We were like, yes, this is so New York.
I know, and Mom didn't like it, and I didn't understand why. I was like, she just doesn't get the city.
She's such a Midwesterner. Yeah. Like, she wouldn't get it. Meanwhile, we're in, like Elmo is standing outside. Like, Fuzzy Elmo is standing outside. Furry? Is it Fuzzy?
Furry.
Oh, furry.
We're getting so off topic, but a core memory for me actually is there was a man.
Given this pod doesn't have a plan or any point, I don't think it's possible for us to get off topic.
Yeah, but I don't even remember why we started talking about
that. We'll get back.
All I was going to say is a formative memory for me was someone was handing out Obama condoms outside of our hotel in Times Square.
I don't remember this.
And I was like... And I was old enough that I, like, knew what a condom was, but I was so confused. Like, I was like, why would anyone want that?
Right.
This is inappropriate. Like,
I'm confused now.
I don't have details.
Okay.
Anyway, we went to New York. My dad wanted to go to the U.S. Open, which we did. I put up a fight and was like, I want to see How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, which was a musical starring Daniel Radcliffe.
Meanwhile, we went for the U.S. Open, by the way, for Dad's birthday, and we, like, were miserable the whole time, and we, like, cried.
We were really miserable. I would say the important thing to know about this trip is that neither one of us wanted to be at the U.S. Open, and Annie did not want to see the Daniel Radcliffe musical. And so 11-year-old Annie was...
Or go to the Tenement Museum, as much as it's very cool, and I love it today.
Yeah, you go there all the time.
I just mean, like, there was just a lot going on as an 11-year-old that I'm not 100% sure I wanted to be a part of.
You were not into anything going on this weekend.
No.
Do you want to tell this part or should I?
Yeah, can you tell the story?
Okay, so Annie decides late one Saturday night that it is time to put her foot down. She has had enough of this New York City bullshit.
Also, okay, can I just, sorry. The place we were at dinner when I got this in my head was like Daniel Radcliffe's favorite dinner spot or some shit. And I was like, why are we here for a weekend in New York planning our entire trip? First of all, why are you? I sort of understood more why you were planning your trip around Daniel Radcliffe's like whereabouts. But the fact that mom and dad were like, yes, I was like, I've had it.
I remember I just kept sort of like being surprised with how much I was getting away with.
Yes, and I was surprised as well with how much you were getting away with.
So my dad decides that, again, my dad, this was his idea because he also loved Harry Potter, in fairness, decided we needed to go to the Harry Potter exhibit that was like in town.
In addition to all of the other Daniel Radcliffe-centric activities.
Yes. And I was like, hell fucking right, we're going to the Harry Potter exhibit. Annie, this is, shall we say, the straw that broke the camel's back. And Annie says, no, we're not doing that. Something you all need to know about Annie is she was scary as a child. I was too. In different ways we were scary. You could put a foot down.
And boy, did I.
You were like, you took that Ugg-covered foot and slammed it.
It was definitely a bear paw because I was still growing.
Of course.
Just a little callback to the whole shoe thing.
Of course.
Gail had put her foot down at that point.
So you say, we're not doing that. And I'm like, Annie, what do you mean? First of all, yes, in hindsight, have we already done everything I wanted to do on this trip?
Everything.
Yes. Did it also feel like you were breaking my heart? Yes. I was like, what are you saying? Like, of course we need to go to the Harry Potter exhibit. You're like, no.
Wait,
and my dad is like, can we please go to the Harry Potter exhibit? No. They're like, okay, Annie, what do you want to do? And she
Wait, and in that moment, well, I have to tell you what was going through my head at that moment.
I have no idea.
Fuck. I've never been to New York. I have no fucking clue what I want to do in this moment, but I'm gonna figure it out as quickly as I can. And what did I say?
Annie looks us dead in the eyes and she says, I want to go to the M&M store in Times Square.
Right now.
Right now.
It was 9 p.m.
Yeah, it was late. Mm-hmm. And I remember just getting so upset. And my dad...
Mom was like, what if we just went together tomorrow and Kate and Dad can go to the Harry Potter thing? And that's when I lost my shit because I was like, I have been dragged to How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying.
Watch this small little man dance.
Literally, not just the show. We had to wait at the stage door.
That's true.
We then had to go eat at the restaurant that like he sometimes ate at, so that we would like. I had it. I had it, and I said, "We are all going to the M&M store."
Suddenly, we were
en route.
Yeah, I was so annoyed. We get to the M&M store.
Okay, this part the story's changed over the years. It has.
I remember it clear as day. We get to the M&M store. We walk in. Annie sees this giant wall they had of like, you could like take a bag and like fill it with like all these different colors and kinds of M&Ms.
And you know what? It was the most fun I had the whole goddamn weekend.
But listen to what you take this bag. You go up to the peanut butter M&M section.
How fucking right I did.
Regular ass peanut butter M&Ms that you could literally get at your local Walgreens. Fill a bag with them.
Whoa.
It's true. Fill a bag with them. Turn around, look at us and say, okay, I'm ready. We were in this M&M store for, I kid you not, 2 minutes.
And you know what? I didn't waste anybody's time. And by the way, now living here, I couldn't agree more with that version of myself at 11 years old, that going to the CVS in Chelsea and getting a pack of peanut butter M&Ms is by no means the same thing. It's like drinking wine out of a bad wine glass. It's not the same. When you go to the M&M store, those M&Ms taste different, and I'll stand by that for the rest of my days. How did we get here?
I have no idea.
Oh, One Direction?
Fan.
You
love being a fan. And you know what you're a fan of? The M&M store.
And I'm a fan of putting my foot down.
Yes, you are.
I think that being a fan is important. I also think that, okay,
you know what? we were both being fans that weekend.
Yeah, me of the yellow M&M guy. I don't even think the green girl existed at that point.
She did. They've just made her sexier since.
And then they discontinued her.
Oh, right.
Because we couldn't handle it as a society.
Right.
I was actually...
That's another subject.
Well, I actually was going to pivot into my little soapbox for the day, which is that we have, like, dumbed down being a fan of women's things, whether that's, like, reality TV or YouTube, like, beauty YouTube girlies, whatever.
Of course.
Standing in the bar I was at last night, and Mac, I'm really sorry that you're here for this.
Now I'm scared.
There is no more passionate person in this world than a New York sports fan, male fan, which is great. I'm so happy for them, really. I love the Knicks. However, the disproportionate reaction to girls fangirling when men watching sports is arguably a little, like, more cult-like is just a little crazy.
I would say...
And I'm by the way, a very, very, very big basketball fan. I'm not saying that... I'm just saying, in that bar last night, I was like, this is giving Girlies at the Eras Tour, but we've dumbed down Girlies at the Eras Tour, and we've lifted up...
boys at the bar.
Exactly.
I also just think it's not even just cultish. That's less my problem. It's more like... And actually, I don't have a problem with this.
I don't have a problem with cults.
I love a cult. It's the level of emotion. And I'm not talking about my dear sweet boyfriend who's sitting behind me.
Of course not.
No, but really, I'm talking about, like, there was this guy at the bar we were watching the game at who was, like, about to get kicked out because he wouldn't stop screaming at the TV. Screaming and clapping. And, like, these female waitresses had to ask him, like, 8 times. It was so bad that Mac, like, put himself between me and this guy when we were walking out because he was, like, crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like... I get being passionate about things, but I agree with you. I think there's a... If I ever acted the way that man was acting last night about, like, Taylor Swift or One Direction or, like...
The Real Housewives of New York.
Yeah, or, like, more serious things. I don't know.
Yeah.
People would be like, what the... Like, she's crazy.
Yeah. I also feel like Taylor dropping Rep TV wouldn't elicit the same response on Cornelia Street in New York that, like... The Knicks.
When a man's team wins a big sporting event, it is considered socially acceptable to, like, mount a street light. Whereas if I want to post an Instagram story that I'm excited about
Taylor getting her master's back,
then, like, that's cringe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I'm sitting on my couch.
Right.
And you're on 7th Avenue.
Right. You're literally on 7th Avenue.
Swinging.
Hanging from a lamp pole. And that's not okay.
And isn't that the 2024 election in a nutshell?
So true.
Anyway.
Okay, there's a couple things on here that you've put that I have questions about.
Yeah. Some of them I don't want to talk about anymore.
Well, I'm going to make you talk about Patti LuPone. Because
okay.
I have not heard that name in... so long, and I feel like I might be out of a loop about something going on either up in your cute little brain, or...
No, it's in society.
Oh, okay, I'm missing this. I'm, like, chronically online for work and in my personal life, so when I don't know something that's going on, I am...
It gives her pause.
It does. Can you fill me in on Patti?
So, I'm going to give you the 30-second version.
On Peppermint Pea.
Yeah. God, this is going to be so uninteresting to some. Patti LuPone did this interview for The New Yorker recently where she literally goes on a rant about how much she fucking hates Audra McDonald, another fellow Broadway icon, and this other woman, actually...
Wait, she talks about how much she hates these people?
She says, quote, Audra is not a friend.
Oh.
And
I saw Patti LuPone one time in Annie Get Your Gun at Ravinia in Highland Park, Illinois.
I was there.
Oh. Don't remember that part.
Keisha Lewis.
Okay.
Keisha Lewis accused Patti LuPone maybe a year ago of, like, being microaggressive because she said the Hell's Kitchen musical was too loud and interrupting her play. Whatever. It was like, not whatever, but it was
who
like,
said?
Patti LuPone reached out to Hell's Kitchen, which is, like, the Alicia Keys
musical. I know Hell's Kitchen. It's supposed to be amazing.
Yes, and she said that it was too loud for her play, and you could hear the noise from Hell's Kitchen in her play.
Oh, sorry,
Patti
she was
LuPone's
in the
play.
play. Okay. I thought you meant like for her playtime. I was like, well, does she live in...
No, I learned from this article she lives in Connecticut. So Keisha Lewis posted something on Instagram about how that was like microaggressive. And then Audra McDonald, and first of all, also both of these women are black. Audra McDonald posted like heart emojis in support.
In support of
Keisha Lewis.
Okay, I think...
And Patti LuPone basically...
Wait, I kind of have to know what she looks like.
Patti?
Yeah.
I can't believe you don't.
No, I mean, I do, but like...
Basically, like, I think this is maybe uninteresting if you have not also read this article, but I just need you to go read this article because this woman has the craziest energy of anyone I've ever encountered. She's wackadoodle. She just has this, like, she will say whatever she wants.
Wait, she apologized for the first time in her career.
She apologized?
Patti LuPone issues career first apology for demeaning and disrespectful words that inspired Broadway backlash. Quote, I hope to have the chance to speak to Audra McDonald and Keisha Lewis personally to offer my sincere apologies, LuPone said. LuPone is speaking out for the first time since more than 500 members of the Broadway community signed an open letter criticizing her for discussing an apparent riff with Audra McDonald and calling Hell's Kitchen star, oh my God, Keisha Lewis a, quote, bitch.
Yes. She also said that Keisha Lewis was an amateur because Keisha Lewis said as a fellow Broadway veteran, and then Patti LuPone was like, you call yourself a veteran, bitch? Like, I've been in 31 plays. You've been in 7 or something.
Okay. And you're...
Which, I mean, I've been in 0.
Right. No, sure.
But anyway, I don't really have much to say other than, like, I didn't realize this woman had such crazy energy, and apparently this has been a thing throughout her entire career.
Well, a career-first apology implies that she's had other things to apologize for that she hasn't apologized for.
Can I tell you my favorite anecdote from the article?
Of course.
Apparently, so she was supposed to be the lead in Sunset Boulevard or on Broadway.
That's the one with the guy who runs in the street.
Exactly, but this is the original Broadway run back in the day. She did it in London. Glenn Close did it in L.A., Andrew Lloyd Webber gave it to Glenn Close for Broadway instead of Patti LuPone. Patti LuPone was pissed and sued him and won the settlement. And then she used the settlement money to build a pool in her house in Connecticut, and she named the pool the Andrew Lloyd Webber Memorial Pool.
Oh, she's like loony.
Anyway, so that was my Patti LuPone. I need you to read the article because I was like... jaw on the... Also, she reminded me of, like, if certain people who I did theater with in high school had never once been told no, like, were actually really good and had never once been told no.
Oh, you think she's never been told no?
No, because she's good. She's, like, talented enough. I mean, she's been told no. She didn't get the part in Sunset Boulevard.
I also saw her in Annie Get Your Gun. I know she's
and
good.
that stuck with you.
Wow.
Anyway, it was just... I need you to read it.
I'm just laughing that, like, these notes are, like, road. Patti LuPone was just, like, a crazy addition.
Listen, it was a crazy addition, an unexpected addition to my week as well.
Of course, and that'll happen. Justin and Haley.
Oh my God.
And we haven't really talked about it.
We haven't.
First of all, congrats, Haley. I'm so excited and happy for her.
The Justin Bieber stuff is always, like, a little dark to me.
Extremely.
And also, like, even all of the, like, Haley stuff that came out a couple months ago about, like, her being such a fan and all of it. I was gonna bring up Haley when we were talking about being fans. I was gonna be like, whatever.
Oh my God, that's funny. By the way, can I just say, like, sorry, love Selena, like, whatever, but Haley was just a fan with access to him. And I can't say I wouldn't do... If my father had access to One Direction when we were as in love with him as we were, you can't tell me I wouldn't have gone and tried to meet them.
Of course you would have.
Sorry, that's all.
100%.
That's just what I mean.
She's one of us.
She really is.
She's an Echo baby.
Yeah. And she utilized those connections.
100%. I thought his Instagram caption was crazy.
Crazy. I also think that it's possible, like, you don't know what's happening behind closed doors, and maybe, like, she's staying with him because he's, like, having, like...
He's definitely struggling.
Also, all the, like... not to, like, go here, but, like, I'm imagining that, like, the trial right now with Diddy and everything that's going on there is, like, not making things easier for him from, like, a mental health standpoint. So maybe she's staying with him knowing, like, this isn't the person that I necessarily, like... married, like, this is a different person, and I'm gonna hope that they get the help that they need, and then, like, we can continue. They have a kid together too. Like, I have to root for them. They have a child.
Yeah, and I do root for them.
Yeah, I just like it's dark.
I for some reason I hate a conspiracy theory. Meaning, when
Yeah, you
everyone's
do.
like,
You don't like a conspiracy theory.
can I be honest? I think it stresses the OCD in me out.
Okay.
And I do have OCD. I'm not just saying that.
Yeah.
Max, like, we know. I think that I don't like thinking that there's like a secret world going on that we don't know about. And I like taking people at their word. And so I get uncomfortable, even though it's like maybe true. I don't like when people are like, oh, like, look at all of this evidence that Justin's never been over Selena. Like, I just want to believe that, like, he and Haley really love each other.
Totally.
And I think that's why I've always been, like, team Haley and Justin. I love Selena.
Yeah.
But I kind of just want to be like, I want to believe we're all over it.
Also, like, Selena and Benny, I'm obsessed with, you know that. I'm obsessed with Benny B.
Benny B.
I love him.
Benny B.
I think that they're so cute. Also, did you see, this weekend, Taylor was at Via Corona.
Of course.
Selena and Taylor last night were at
Monkey Bar.
Yeah. And Kylie and Timothy were at Fort Charles after the Knicks game.
They're all right in your neck of the woods.
But I never see them.
I feel like they go late.
They do. I know. Timmy and Kylie went after the Knicks game. I was like, that was like 11 a.m. or 11 p.m. But she's on Pacific Standard Time.
You're right.
So it was really like 8 for her and like, I don't know. I want to end every episode for our sake with a positive piece of news.
Okay, love. I have one.
Oh, good.
Do you not?
No.
Okay.
I just threw it out there.
It's not so much news, but it's just something that's been making me happy. Can I tell you?
Of course.
So there's this woman on TikTok and Instagram named Isabel Klee. Klee.
Okay.
And she lives, I think, in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And she fosters dogs. I think she's on her, like, 20th dog or something. And she documents the whole journey on TikTok. And she recently has been fostering this dog named Tiki.
Oh.
And I can't believe I haven't sent you the videos. That sounded weird. She's, like, very experienced with fostering dogs. And so now when she fosters dogs, she takes, like, more dramatic, like, medical cases or, like, dogs with, like, behavioral issues. And this little dog, Tiki, when she got him, he was, like, he had come from this, like, horrible, I think, like, I don't know if it was, like, a hoarding situation, like, really, really bad conditions. And he wouldn't even leave his crate. And he was, like, catatonic and, like, so afraid, like, wouldn't let anyone touch him. And she has, like, slowly nursed him back to, like, he's literally been with her for, like, 30-something days at this point. And every day she does a Tiki update. It's, like, these tiny little milestones where, like, one day he came out of his crate. One day he, like, today he was learning how to play fetch. Because he's never played fetch before.
No, I'm going to cry.
He's so sweet. And
What kind of dog is he?
He's like a little mutt. He's really cute. I'll send you a video after. But anyway, he needed so much love and care to, like, trust. You like, literally watch him learn how to, like, trust people again after everything he's been through.
Does he have a TikTok or is it her TikTok?
It's her TikTok.
Okay, but
he's kind of, like, going super viral. But I actually last week went back and she has a playlist of all of her foster videos. It's, like, literally 170 videos, and I watched, like, all of them.
Oh my God.
Like, all these different dogs, and she takes such good care of them. And it's like, it was making me really happy because she just seems like such a good person. And, like sometimes doing the right thing is, like, hard, and, like, it's clearly really taxing and crazy to, like, take care of these really difficult dogs.
Totally.
But she, like, does it, and she's, like, making their little lives better.
Is this her full-time job?
I don't know. She might be a full-time creator, because I know she's also, like, a writer, and she, like... Oh, but it's so sweet. It's like really cool to see him go from, like, so scared to, like now he jumps in her lap, and he used to, like, not even let her touch him. It's so cute. And she has another dog.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Simon.
Are they, like...
Yeah, because he's really good with all the foster dogs.
Oh
and he, like, shows them how to be, like, a happy dog. And, like, shows them that they're safe.
I'm gonna cry. That's amazing.
Anyway, it's not, like, news, but that's just
No, that's great.
Me happy.
One other story that is making me happy, the guy who Mom brought up who quit his corporate job and, like, sailed... Oh my God. Have I not told you about this?
No.
Oh my God. Okay. It's a guy who quit his corporate job. His name is Oliver Widger.
Okay.
Wigger. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He was, like, faced with risk of paralysis, like, really, like, negative circumstances. He quit his corporate job and set sail with his cat named Phoenix.
Oh.
And the 29-year-old taught himself to sail on YouTube before charting a course for Hawaii when he landed or when he not landed, what's it called when you get to land? When he came ashore. That sounds like
no way. That's what you were trying to say.
He sailed to Hawaii, and when he got to Hawaii, there was a huge reception for him of all of these people that had followed his journey. Oregon.
Oh my God.
I think he's from Oregon. But he literally quit his corporate job, sailed around the world with his cat. He's now a full-time creator. He was on the Today Show. People wrote an article about him.
Isabel was also just on the Today Show.
You're kidding me.
I wonder if they've met.
Should we set them up?
No, she's engaged to a very nice man.
Okay. I also I have no idea this man. I barely know how to pronounce his last name. I don't know if he's married, but
just 2 little happy stories. Okay. So we want to quickly call our mom, aka our best friend, aka the best person ever.
Her name is Gail.
Gail. You may have heard us mention her. Mac had the wonderful idea to have my mom ask us a question at the end of the podcast.
Oh, ask us? I thought we were asking her a question.
No, she's asking us.
I'm a little
question.
nervous. Hopefully she answers.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
We're wondering if you can ask us a question for our podcast.
Oh. Okay, hold
We'll
on.
say-
Am I being recorded?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
What is the topic for this week's podcast?
Oh, we've just been talking about really random stuff. We talked about the M&M store. If you could tell your 25-year-old self something, what would you say?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. I'd probably say, don't listen to your biases.
Oh,
Okay.
love.
Because it's a bias and you're probably wrong.
Yeah,
And people will surprise you.
I love that.
Thank you so much, Mother
Thanks,
Gail.
Mom.
You're so welcome.
All right, we'll talk to
Love you, Icon.
probably in 20 minutes.
Yeah, we'll call you back really soon.
Love you.
Okay. Well,
That's
I guess-
Do you think we're going to look back on this and be like, that was so silly that was what we talked about?
100%.
It was for us.
This is for us.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
bye.
Bye, Annie. Love you.
Love you.